making mini lemony chicken keftas. These are absolutely delicious for the kids or adults because I'm adding some harissa, which is a really nice chili paste. So to start with, I'm placing a pan on a medium heat and we've got to cook the onions. I don't want them to be raw, so I'll place the onions straight in there with a little bit of olive oil, about 2 tablespoons. And we just want them to soften and get a little bit of colour. And while that's cooking, I've got some chicken here. I've got some chicken mince. If you can get your hands on free-range chicken mince, so much better. And of course, it tastes really, really good too. So what I'll do is place that into the bowl and we'll add extra flavours to this. So I've got some fresh coriander here. Now, chicken, when it's minced, it can be a little bit dry. So the best thing to do is make sure you give it lots of punchy flavours and, of course, moisten it up. So what we'll do is roughly slice this and we'll pop that straight in there. And back to making these really nice and moist, we're going to use an egg. And this egg doesn't just make it nice and moist, it also binds it all together. So when we place them on the kebabs, they're going to stay intact and cook nicely when we grill them later on. I've also got just a little bit of flour. Now look, if you don't want to use flour, you can add just 1 more egg. I just think when you're making these kebabs in particular, there's not much fat in them, so you need something to bind it. And the gluten in this really, really helps. So I've got about a teaspoon in there. A good pinch of salt. Some pepper. And this is one of my favourite things to use in the kitchen. I always have these in my pantry. They're preserved lemons, and you can get them from most really good delis these days. The most important thing to remember is we only want the skin here. So these have just been salted, and we have to take all of the inside out because it's really, really salty and tart. So once you've taken that out, and just a little bit of that extra pith here, all we do is finely slice this skin because we want that flavour in it, but we don't want big chunks of it because it'll be salty. We just want that slight perfume that the preserved lemon gives. So you can see we're building on our flavours here. Our onions are softening up now and we'll add the rest of the ingredients. I've got some harissa here. Harissa's got a mixture of cumin in it, caraway seeds, chilli, garlic. It is so lovely, but if you can't get your hands on it, you can also use samba oelek or any chilli paste. This is going to give it a really delicious flavour and we'll add it there. It's a Middle Eastern chilli paste, but look, if you can't get it, there are plenty others out there. As long as we get that hit of chilli, that's what we want for this. Great. Now to caramelise that all up, I've got some honey here and we'll add it to the pan. We're going to give that a stir and we're going to cook that for another 2 to 3 minutes so we get that caramelisation going. We're going to allow it to cool and then we'll add it to the raw chicken. So that onion mixture has cooled down now and you can see how glossy it has become just by adding that honey. So we'll make sure we scrape out all of that and place that in the bowl. Now it's really important to cool this down. If you don't cool it down, that mixture is going to warm up that meat and it's going to be at a weird temperature. We don't want it to cook now, we want it to cook it later. So just let that cool down and then clean hands, of course. I think this is the best way to get everything bound nicely, is get your hands in there and give it a good mix. And then to form these, look, you can do these into little meatballs if you like, or you can get these little kebabs and you just form it around the stick like this. Now my little tip is, if it falls off a little bit, just add a little bit of breadcrumbs and that'll firmen it up a little bit. And we're going to make them mini, so not too much meat on those kebabs. There we go. Well, I'm just going to continue making these and then we're going to start grilling them. I've also got a little bowl here of water and that's just to aid making that perfect shape and so the meat doesn't stick on your hands. So we're ready to grill these. I've got the griddle pan on nice and hot. When you're using a griddle, really important to just oil your actual meat and then put it in because you don't want to be swimming in the oil. You want that nice char-grilled look on it. So I'm just going to carefully take them off that plate and start grilling them. And you watch, just give this a couple of minutes on here and you'll start smelling that harissa, the coriander, the onions. This is a really, really nice dish to do when you've got some people coming over or pre-make them for a barbecue. So these chicken keftas are nicely grilled, nicely charred on each side, so they're ready to come out. I've got a nice bright plate for them today, and all I do is just simply pile them up. Just get a couple here. And I've got some yogurt here, plain yogurt, and some harissa, just some extra, just to make it extra spicy. Give that a good mix. You can see that colour straight away. And I like to do a nice little dollop just on the side here. Some fresh coriander, just there, and some fresh lime. Look, I love using chicken mince for this because once they cook, they become nice and soft and fluffy. It's a really nice texture and it's a little bit different from the usual kebabs.